Turkey's great this year.
Oh yeah, it's almost like it's great again.
Mashed potatoes are good.
Oh yeah, I got them for cheap. It's almost like grocery prices are going down. That's weird.
Oh God, this is giving me gas.
Well, you're about to get a lot more gas. Olean. Because prices are going down. So who'd you vote for?
Okay, I'm leaving.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleb is back. In this report, Pierre Poilievre absolutely goes nuclear and destroys Trudeau this weekend in one of the most savage ratios I've ever seen when Pierre Poilievre responds to Trudeau's statement regarding the riots on Friday. Also tonight, Pierre Poilievre cooks another woke reporter this week over on CP24 when the reporter tried to play gotcha with Pierre and absolutely ended up owning herself. And in our last story tonight, Rebel News founder Ezra Levant was arrested this weekend at a protest for doing journalism. You won't want to miss this report. Stick around. Welcome to your Sunday report. Yesterday on this channel, we talked about the crazy riots that happened in Montreal on Friday. Now, to no surprise, YouTube demonetized this video because, quite frankly, the footage was pretty insane in it. So I'm not exactly surprised. But for tonight's first story, we're going to talk about Trudeau at this Taylor Swift concert. Now, something I didn't cover on yesterday's video was the fact that Trudeau was spotted at this Taylor Swift concert while Montreal was burning, handing out friendship bracelets.
Guys, I'm here at the Eras Tour Night 4 and Justin Trudeau is right across me.
He's so incredibly cringe. And I was able to acquire more footage here of Trudeau handing out these ridiculous friendship bracelets. Look at this.
What is Justin Trudeau doing here, guys? Hello?
Holy shit, that's creepy. That is, oh my God. Look at all these bracelets on his arm, collecting friendship bracelets while Montreal burns. This is what Trudeau's doing. We don't have a real leader here in Canada. What a creep.
Thank you! Do you want a bracelet? Do you want a bracelet? Thank you so much! Oh my God!
What the heck is a 52-year-old man doing at a Taylor Swift concert handing out friendship bracelets? I mean, that itself is already super cringe, all right? But he did it while Montreal was burning. Yes, and he didn't even leave the concert. What the hell is wrong with this guy? We truly live in a clown world. Now, many accounts on the left are coming out and saying, oh, look at these conservatives having a meltdown because Trudeau's taking his daughter out to a concert. What you guys need to realize is it's not Trudeau going to the concert that pissed us off. That's fine. It's the fact that the riots broke out that night and Trudeau didn't even leave. And another reason that the people are mad at Trudeau is the hypocrisy of this guy. I mean, when Montreal is literally burning and rioting, Trudeau is out dancing at Taylor Swift concerts. But when there's a peaceful trucker protest in Ottawa, he invokes the Emergencies Act, wartime measures.
The federal government has invoked the Emergencies Act.
Now, on yesterday's show, we covered Pierre Poilievre's statement at midnight when the riots were happening. While Trudeau was sleeping, and Jagmeet Singh, by the way, still hasn't even issued a statement regarding the riots. Well, Justin Trudeau put out this tweet the following day and gets absolutely demolished by Pierre. Trudeau put out this vanilla statement the following day at noon saying, what we saw on the streets of Montreal last night was appalling. Acts of anti-Semitism, intimidation, and violence must be condemned wherever we see them. The RCMP are in communication with the local police. There must be consequences and rioters held accountable. Now, what I'm going to show you next is one of the most savage replies I've ever seen Pierre Poilievre put out, possibly his greatest tweet of all time, and one of the greatest ratios I've ever seen here. As you can see that Pierre Poilievre has 82,000 likes, while Trudeau had only 11. Let's go read the tweet. You act surprised. We are reaping what you sowed. This is what happens when a prime minister spends 9 years pushing toxic woke identity politics, dividing and subdividing people by race, gender, vaccine status, religion, region, age, and wealth. He's right. His woke bullshit divided the country and completely ruined us. Keep going. On top of driving people apart, you systematically break what used to bring us together, saying Canada is a post-national state with no core identity. Yes, insert this in my veins. You erased our veterans and military, the famous five, and even Terry Fox from our passports to replace them with meaningless squirrels, snowflakes, and a drawing of yourself swimming as a boy. Yeah, that was crazy. You opened the borders to terrorists and lawbreakers and called anyone who questioned it racist. You sent out your MPs to say one thing in a mosque and the opposite in a synagogue, one thing in a mandir and the opposite in a guadarrara. You made Canada a playground for foreign interference. You allowed Iran's IRGC terrorists to legally operate here for 4 years after they murdered 55 of our citizens in a major unprovoked attack. This is pretty savage. Keep going. You passed laws that release rampant offenders from prison within hours of their 80th arrest. And what is the result? Assassinations on Canadian soil, firebombings of synagogues, extremist violence against mandirs and guadarraras, over 100 churches burned or vandalized, with barely any condemnation from you, all for a total 251% more hate crimes. And while you were dancing, Montreal was burning. Oh, savage. We won't let you divide us anymore. Call an election now. We will fire you, reclaim our citizenship, our values, our lives, our freedom, and most importantly, our country. Whew. Anyone else get goosebumps after reading this? Pierre Poilievre is right. We got to replace woke with real patriotism. We need to take our country back. The woke mind virus is literally destroying us, dividing us, ruining us. This is Pierre Poilievre's best tweet yet, in my opinion, but let's go read some of the comments and see what the people had to say. Our first comment comes from Cat Canada, who writes, "Let him have it, Mr. Poilievre, and then some, please. This is what Canadians want to see from conservatives. Thank you." Stacy writes, "Canada's coming back, baby, and that's how it's done." Sue writes, "Best posts ever. Pierre will be PM. Trudeau will be in prison." Blueprint writes, "Thank you for this much needed statement. This is what the country needs to hear right now." I agree. We needed leadership in that spot, and Pierre Poilievre stepped up and acted like the leader we actually need in this country. Catchy writes, "I love you." Well, that's pretty simple. He works over, I believe, at X as an engineer. Yep. Gregory writes, "Pierre going more and more nuclear by the day. Good. I want a leader passionate about our country and its defense." Same here. Andrew writes, "Finally, Pierre is getting based." Jer writes, "This might be your best post ever." Tracy Tuesday writes, "I love this. Thank you, Pierre Poilievre." And last but not least, the Jagmeet Singh parody account writes, "Easy, pal. Speech like this might get you trampled. Woke is here to stay. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to buy a Jaguar." And Danielle Smith also had a comment as she quote tweeted Pierre and writes this, 9 years of Trudeau and the nation has never been more divided. It's time for Canadians to get the opportunity to vote and change the direction of this country for the better." Amen, Danielle. Amen. Now I'd like to take a moment here to shine the spotlight on the media who are absolutely lying over what happened on Friday night. Our mainstream media is trying to spin the narrative here from Friday night, trying to make this protest riot actually, seem like it was an anti-NATO protest instead of a Palestine protest. Now, we all saw all the Palestine flags, right? We saw the footage. And look at this. Look at our media. Globe and Mail, Jolie Blair condemn anti-NATO protests. This news outlet, the Canadian Press, anti-NATO protests in Montreal erupts in fires. CTV News, Jolie Blair condemn anti-NATO protests in Montreal. City News, Jolie Blair, they're using the same headline, condemn anti-NATO protests. CBC, 3 arrested as Montreal anti-NATO protest turns violence. And the Gazette, cars burn, windows smash at pro-Palestinian anti-NATO demonstration in Montreal. The Gazette's the only people who mention Palestine. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for the platform X, nobody would know what actually happened on Friday. The majority of people would have believed it was an anti-NATO protest, but we all saw what we saw. The Palestine flags were everywhere, and they were creating chaos. And for another little laugh here, the left are in absolute denial over what happened on Friday night. They cannot accept the fact that Trudeau went internationally viral again for dancing at Taylor Swift while Montreal burns, to the point now where they're actually accusing Pierre of using bot farms here to push the narrative of while Montreal is burning, Trudeau is dancing at Taylor Swift. The denial from these people will never stop being hilarious. In our next segment of the night here, Pierre Poilievre's been stacking a lot of W's this week, and he went on CP24 this week and absolutely handed it to a reporter. I don't know if you guys saw this clip, but another reporter tries to play gotcha with Pierre and, well, ends up looking foolish, like they all do.
Canadians, Mr. Poilievre, when you say you're all about axing the tax, you're all about bringing taxes down, making life more affordable, and in the same breath you say...
Look at Pierre staring at her with this, like, grin on his face. Like, he just knows. He just knows he's about to annihilate her. Oh, this is going to be good.
More affordable. And in the same breath, you say you're not sure you're going to support a tax break for Canadians at a time when they're struggling so badly.
Why are they struggling so badly? It's been 9 years that Trudeau's promised to make them better off. And here we are. You're right. They are struggling so badly. And I think your own words are a condemnation of his track record, with food prices rising 37% faster in Canada than they have in the United States, just as the carbon tax came in. Housing costs doubled. Here we are in Toronto, where you have to earn well over $200,000 to afford a home. That was never the case before Justin Trudeau ran money printing and immigration out of control, before he built up all these bureaucracies that block home building. Clearly, Canadians are struggling. Justin Trudeau is the problem. He's not the solution. What we need is a common sense plan for permanent tax cuts. Axe the carbon tax, axe the GST on new homes, and slash the bureaucracy and waste to bring down deficits, interest rates, and inflation.
Gotta love these reporters who just blurt out the NPC lines, and Pierre Poilievre cooks them every single time. Not only is he showing up as a leader when we need him, like during the riots, he's also making the media look completely ridiculous. I'm a huge fan of Pierre Poilievre. In our last clip of the night here, we got to talk about what's breaking right now in Toronto, as Ezra Levant got arrested doing journalism at an anti-Israel protest, and it appears that the Toronto police are siding with the Hamas people. Look at this.
Before you're allowed. We were here last week. Right, you had a designated area to stay in, and you agreed to stay in it. I did not. What are you talking about? Well, absolutely. Acting Inspector Ford told me they had a media area for you, and you guys stayed in it, and they came back.
We did not. Well, because it's not up to him to say you have free speech stand and watch me.
Well, yeah, because you're inciting this crowd and then it breaches the peace. Well, your presence is inciting them, and that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Because I'm a Jew.
No, because you're trying to incite them.
I haven't tried to incite them. I went to take a picture of the hate crime that
You
you're
could have done it on the
abiding.
other side. You didn't need to walk over
No,
here.
I wanted to go out. I don't
Now I'm going to tell you to
think
move over there.
And
if you don't
I allowed
press,
you. I allowed you to take that video. I allowed you to take that
yeah.
video.
So you're refusing to leave?
I'm refusing to leave.
Why?
Because I'm a Jew, I'm a citizen, and I'm your boss. And I don't leave because you say Jews aren't
Well, you know
allowed
what?
on the street.
In the interest of keeping peace here and public safety, you're under arrest for breach of the peace. So take a minute.
Good. Take this.
They arrested the wrong person. They have no clue who they just arrested. This is not going to end well for TPS. This is the last person you want to arrest. Oh my gosh.
I'm being arrested because I'm standing on the sidewalk in my city. I'm a Jew who lives in this neighborhood, and I'm being arrested because the police say that's the path of least resistance. Loser.
Get it quick.
This thing's off to go look for in Ohio.
How puff is meat?
You just know Ezra's loving this, right? You just know it. It's going to create so much more content.
Watch out the road.
Trudeau's Canada is truly a screwed up place, folks. It's dark. Wonderful. So now the Toronto police are arresting journalists for doing their jobs. They're siding with the Hamas terrorists. We really need a regime change here in Canada. We need an election ASAP. I can't keep going on like this, looking at our country just degenerating like this. This is truly sad, but if I could give you guys any hope, is that Pierre Poilievre is right around the corner, and he promises to change this ridiculous culture. Anyways, folks, that's the latest here for today's report. I'll be back tomorrow with another news show, but I want you to tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of Pierre Poilievre's statement? Was this the best tweet he's ever put out in his life? Is this your favorite Pierre Poilievre tweet? I want to hear in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed today's report and you want to support me, well, please subscribe to this channel because I'm telling the news that the mainstream media is not telling you. You can like this video, drop a comment, share it with your friends, tell your friends about the crazy Canadian pleb on YouTube, or you could buy a membership for $5 Canadian to support the real news. My name is the Pleb, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.